Welcome to the purposes of government and who benefits. Government, as defined by your textbook, is the institutions and processes through which public policies are made for society. The institutions of government include Congress, the President, and the courts. These institutions, in addition to state and local governments, were created to regulate society. How does one regulate society? Another definition of government is that government uses legitimate force to control human behavior and regulate society. When I say legitimate force, what does that mean? It doesn't mean using violence, but the legitimate force of making laws. Think about why you don't run a red light. You want to avoid the fines that come with a ticket. As you listen and read various opinions of what government should do, there are disagreements. The disagreements are over one of two things: how we should govern and what government should do. How should we govern and who should hold the power are questions that people often disagree over. What should the government do? In other words, what should the scope of government be? Should it be more involved in regulating business or less in regulating of the environment? The questions of who should govern and what government should do can't be separated from politics. The politics is how we select who will govern, elections, and what policies they make. Public policy includes laws passed by Congress and regulations established by various bureaucratic agencies. Harold Laswell developed a definition of politics to include the who, what, and how. The who of politics is who gets. At a minimum, the who includes voters, candidates, groups, and parties. The what of politics is the benefits that the government provides, such as Social Security benefits. However, with benefits, there are burdens, such as having to pay taxes. The how of politics is how people get what they want by voting, supporting lawmakers, compromising, and lobbying. The policy agenda are the issues that government officials feel are most important. What determines what problems government officials will solve? The issues that appear on the policy agenda can change regularly and consist of issues that people disagree about the solutions. The next few slides will explain how the policy agenda is determined and addressed. Please note that the information presented on the chart will be addressed throughout the year and might be on the AP exam. I am so sure that I will give everyone a puppy if one of these topics is not on the exam. This chart, the Policymaking System, explains how public policy is made, including who determines the public agenda, who determines solutions, and the implications of the solutions. First, we will look at the people in linkage institutions. As you see, the people in the linkage institutions are the first two steps in the policy-making system. Since the government is supposed to serve the interests of the people, the policy-making system begins with them. How then are the interests of the people communicated to the ones who solve the problems? The answer is linkage institutions. Linkage institutions are just like links in a chain. They make connections. For example, if the voters think illegal immigration is an issue that should be addressed, then the candidates running for office campaign on the issue. Ideally, when they get into office, they will create policy to address illegal immigration. As explained in slide 4, the policy agenda are the issues deemed important by the people and get the attention of the policy-making officials. So if you look at the chart again, that is the third and fourth part of the circle. You have to have your policy agenda, and then that goes to the policy-making institutions. Once an issue is on the policy agenda, who is responsible for addressing the problem? That would be the policy-making institutions are responsible. These institutions consist of legislative, executive, and judicial branch, along with the bureaucracy. Last, you have policy and the people. Once we arrive at public policy, what happens? Well, the various institutions create laws and regulations based on the policy agenda. Types of public policy includes congressional laws, presidential actions, court decisions, and budgetary decisions. If you notice, the public policy making system begins and ends with people. After public policy is made, the people decide if the solution is satisfactory. If it is not satisfactory, then the cycle starts again. Well, who has the power? Within the policy-making system, the process begins with the people. However, who among the people have power to influence policymakers? There are three competing theories that help to explain who has the power. Just like with the policy-making system, these theories might likely appear on the AP exam. Just like with the policy-making system, I will give prizes if it doesn't appear on the exam. However, this time I will give each of you a kitten. I hope you're not allergic to them. One of the three theories, the pluralist theory, is the most optimistic of the three. According to this theory, governments compete equally for the attention of policymakers. The governments consist of special interest groups whose job is to try to influence public policy. They influence public policy by getting the attention of the policy-making institutions. If all goes well, the needs of the public will be addressed. The elite or class theory is the least democratic of the three theories. It is based on the politics of class division. The upper class elite will always come out ahead because they have wealth and power. This wealth and power is used to gain access to policy-making institutions to achieve an outcome beneficial to the elite class. Another way of thinking about hyperpluralism is too much of a good thing is sometimes bad. According to the hyperpluralist theory, there are so many groups trying to influence public policy that it makes it difficult for government to function. If the government gives in to the wishes of every interest group, as a result, policy that is implemented is not effective because so many different people have wants and needs that the government is trying to fulfill everyone's wants and needs, and sometimes the policy is not clearly addressed and explained. Also, if a group is unsuccessful with one institution, they can try it again in another. For example, when a group fails with Congress or the president, they can always turn to the courts. This can then lead to policy gridlock. Well, that's it, folks. The next lecture will focus on the writing of the Constitution. See you soon.